I will be speaking about Chapter 8, Mental Disorders. The first one I will be speaking to you guys about is social class. Social class shows that researchers have found that people from the lower classes are more likely than those from other classes to become mentally ill. Two conflicting explanations on this finding are social causation, which means lower class people are more likely prone to mental disorder because of experiencing social stress such as unemployment and divorce due to suffering from psychiatric symptoms as well as infection diseases and neurological impairments. Uh, the second one would be social drift. Mentally ill people from higher classes often drift downward into the lower class neighborhood, which means helping increase the rate of mental illness in the neighborhood. And as well as mental illnesses are also caused by having stressful lives upon themselves. And the second one I would be talking about would be gender. Studies failed to find any difference between genders related to mental disorders. Studies on specific types of disorders shows women are more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety attacks, and PTSD, while men tend more to be have antisocial personalities, paranoia, and drug and alcohol abuse disorders. And women tend to fall victim to depression as well as anxiety attacks would involve them by hurting themselves. In contrast, men are more likely to be assertive, bold, and aggressive to social relations. Um, this shows that women will demonstrate depression disorders because they are more likely to be social integrated and regulated, whereas men are antisocial personality disorders because they are less social integrated and regulated. As for women are more vulnerable to a social loss such as a death of a loved one, while the men are more vulnerable to material loss such as unemployment. And the difference in gender roles, the female role is related restrictive and oppressive, internalize her problems like keeping her anger to herself or any such type of problem that evolves into her life or like her loved one, if she keeps it to herself. As well as, for instance, the man role is more liberating, encourage being to themselves as well, but at some point can tell the other person, like just one guy, oh hey, look, I have this problem, or oh, I don't know what to do. That's for example. So, for according to research, female role has taught women to value the emotional attachments to others to be sociable, and for men, it says that it's better for them to be more emotionally attached. Okay, and the third one I will be speaking about is going to be young age. Uh, Studies before mid 1980s showed that older persons are more likely than younger ones to suffer from mental disorders. The elderly person becomes isolated and not getting enough attention from family members. For example, the relatives did not take the old person to the hospital or to go see the psychiatrist when needed, so the person's psychopathology becomes hopelessly severe. Recent studies in 1980s and 1990s shows that the elderly are like least among all age groups to become mentally ill. According to a national survey in 1944, age 25 to 34 have the highest rate of mental illnesses. Another study found 1992 a significant increase in major depression among the younger generation, especially over the last several decades. Um, for example, the United States, Taiwan, Lebanon, and New Zealand, each successive generation has been growing more vulnerable to depressive disorders. People in these countries, people born after 1955 are more than three times as likely to their grandparents to have a major depression. Among Americans, about 6% of those born after 1955 have become severely depressed by age 24. But only 1% of those born before 1905 have suffered similar depression by age 75. Most stress comes from family problems such as divorce, child abuse, or parental difference to children's needs for love and support.